What's going on YouTube? It's your boy J Rose. Welcome to the page Ghostflykickz. Welcome back. I'm back with another video, another update. Hope everyone's doing well out there, but let's get into the news. Tomorrow, July 2nd, the Air Jordan 14 Toro or Gem Red will release. This is a hot release, people. Do not sleep on this sneaker. It's going to do numbers. It's definitely going to be a great summer shoe. We know how people love all red shoes, and this is a predominantly red shoe with some white, off-white, and black hits. But do not sleep. The 14 is, be honest, not a very popular model in the Jordan line. It's more like that mid-tier, lower tier as far as popularity. But this colorway is fire. Do not sleep on it. Later on this year, we're expecting 2 Air Jordan 11s, one for women, one for men's, and an anniversary edition styling. Early images have leaked of a predominantly black upper Jordan with some metallic hits. Now, when we saw those pictures, a lot of people were like, meh, not really impressed, right? Then later on, we found out that those were women exclusives, and we haven't seen the men's pair. So they gave us a little bit of hope. But then Jason Tatum gave us an early sneak peek of an Air Jordan 11 cool gray mid-top form with a mesh upper. Now, everyone went crazy. We've been inspecting the cool grays for over 10 years. It's been 10 years since the cool grays came out, and people are foaming at the mouth for a chance to get another retro. But unfortunately, news came out that those were not coming out this year. So we'll have to wait at least another year for a cool gray 11 retro release. But you know me, people. I couldn't wait that long. Once I realized that the cool gray 11s weren't coming out this year, I instantly started Googling and searching where can I find the best pair from 2010 for the best price. But I'm happy to announce I have my pair, and this is the newest grail to my collection, the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray 2010. This shoe originally released in 2001 during Michael Jordan's campaign with the Washington Wizards. The Air Jordan 11 is one of his favorite silhouettes, it's Tinker Hatfield's favorite silhouette, and this shoe has a lot of technology and comfort built into it. But being on the Wizards, Jordan needed something that fit his uniform scheme, and cool gray doesn't necessarily fit, but it does match everything. So you've seen images of Jordan wearing a cool gray 11 and a cool gray 9. I actually had a pair of these back in high school. I definitely had this pair, the original pair, and it was something special. It definitely was something special. And the cool gray is definitely a coveted colorway and a highly sought after pair in the sneaker community. If I'm not mistaken, the Jordan 11 Cool Gray was the first mid 11 with a nubuck upper. All previous iterations of the Jordan 11 had either a mesh upper or a leather upper, but this one is done in nubuck. As the name suggests, cool gray. This shoe just exudes cool, laid-back vibes that are perfect on the court and off the court. One of the drawbacks to the nubuck, however, is the fact that jeans and denim tend to bleed around the collar. So if you're going to wear this, I definitely suggest using some water protector and some nubuck protector as well. So time to address the elephant in the room. You bought these shoes, but how do you know they're real? I mean, this shoe came out in 2010. That's 10 years ago. And that's also 10 years for fake manufacturers to perfect this styling. So let's go ahead and take you guys in the lab and see how I authenticated these shoes. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tinker made them shine. Mike made them fly. You made them iconic. I didn't throw the shot at the middle because it was too much of a glare. But notice the font. The font is even great because on fakes, the font is sometimes even bolder or thicker. So another great indication. I'm gonna do my best to try to keep this video short and keep it moving, but there's so many details to cover on the Air Jordan 11. I want you guys to pay attention to the details. Look at the materials, look at the stitching, look at the spacing, look at the threading. This is a really great pair. You don't see any excess glue marks. The carbon fiber looks legit. No loose threads. Man, I'm just really happy with this pair. As we continue to examine this shoe, we can start right here with the outsole. So the original 2001 Jordan Cool Gray had a clear outsole. The 2010 version had an icy blue outsole. Clear blue outsoles not only look great, but they slow down oxidation, which pretty much takes longer to yellow. So you can see from the side that it still has a little bit of that clear blue tint to it. But if you look around the pods here, you can see that yellowing has started to occur. And this is natural. This is very, very natural. Any shoe, especially a clear icy outsole with something like this indented that's been around this long, should have yellowing. If you find a pair of cool gray 10s, cool gray 11s that have not yellowed in the slightest, I would be very, very cautious if I were you. Going over, you can see that it's almost translucent right here in the middle, which is good. You can see the exposed carbon fiber underneath the outsole right here. We've got our cool gray herringbone traction pods. Everything looks good. You got your white circles and pods right there. That looks good. Now, one thing to help authenticate a pair is the distance between the Jumpman and this circle right here. That space should be approximately a square and a half. And you can see there, it's about a square and a half between the ball and that outer circle right there. On a lot of fake pairs, this Jumpman will be placed incorrectly and will be too close to this pod. Here's a pair of the Legend Blues. And while it might be a little difficult to see, you can see that there's the ball and there's the circle. So once again, you're getting about a block and a half distance between the two. I know it's a little harder to see on this one, but I promise you it's the same, people. Okay. Most Jordan 11s have a similar build construction, meaning that regardless of the material, the colorway, you're going to see certain similarities that are common among all Jordan 11s. Like, for example, the third spacing. You can see here on the Legend Blues, the third spacing of the Jumpman. So 1, 2, 3, third spacing. Same thing with the cool grays. But fakes know that. The manufacturers who make fakes, they know that. So what you're looking for is symmetrical. Does it look symmetrical? Does it look evenly placed? Now, granted, there are factory flaws. So I've seen pairs where it's a little bit down here or up there, you know. So this is a man-made product. But what you're really looking for is uniformity. You know, does it look professional? And you can see here that my cool gray looks to be maybe a little bit higher than the Legend Blue, but it also could be how I have them laced up as well. But the stitching, you know, does the stitching look proper? So case in point, looking at the Legend Blues, you can see that the stitching is right here along the edge of the patent leather. You can see that the stitching for the straps are even. And we go over to the cool grays. Once again, clean stitching. One thing about the fake factories, you know, they rush these things out and the stitching usually suffers from it. But you can see the stitching starts right there at the edge of the patent leather. You can see the spacing from the straps. Also even stitching spacing right there. Pay attention to the smaller details. Those are the things that help you authenticate a shoe. The small details. Those are the things that you don't see when you're looking to buy online in pictures or even in person. You just look at it and say, oh, it looks good. Material feels good. But you don't really pay attention to the stitching. Let's look at the laces. You got those netting laces that are inspired by the basketball hoop. Identical to the Legend Blues. I mentioned before about the Jumpmans. So even on the Legend Blues, the top of the ball is pretty much perpendicular to the end of the two. Okay. Also, key things to look at with the Jumpmans are the shape of the Jumpman. You can see here in this 2014 version, they started applying the more recent digital stitching to the Jumpman. as opposed to this one, they were still doing the hand stitching, which is why the Jumpman has the infamous butt crack. Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind when you're comparing different years and different versions of the Jumpman. Okay. Also take note of the shape. Notice how it has that elongated collar with the little space right there for your Achilles. Similar thing here with the Legend Blues. This one just came with that additional shoe tree to kind of keep that form. Like I said, Jordan Brand's been very inconsistent. They gave us this. They gave us something like this on the 2016 Space Jams, and they took it away on the Breads, and I believe the Concords, if I'm not mistaken. So, there's something to keep in mind there. I'll go ahead and remove this. I don't even want to use this one because I tore it up. I didn't clean this very well. Didn't clean it at all. Anyway. But once again, going back to the 2 3s. Focus for me. There you go. Going back to the 2 3s. You see how it fits in that box. It's not stressed out. It's not sloppy far as like the 3 is wider than the 2. It fits very nicely in a neat box. Another indication. Patent leather height. You can see that the patent leather height is nearly identical. Midsole height, nearly identical. These are things that are really important when you're comparing Air Jordan 11s. Patent leather height, midsole height, similar construction, similar build, similar heights on the shoes. These are things that you need to help authenticate pairs, because you will see discrepancies. And I'm not saying that every pair will be exactly the same, but these things help authenticate a pair of shoes. Trust me. Here's a good shot of the inside of the tongue. Usually the cycle of a shoe production is 3 months. And then 3 months later or more, it hits the shelves. Cool Gray 11 comes in this box here. Air Jordan 11 Retro. You might be wondering, where's the price tag? You don't have a price tag on it, which could be a red flag. But we look inside the box. Okay. Yeah. All right, people. For this part of the review, I really want you guys to get a sense of how things look, how they sound, and as best as I can describe, how they feel. So here we have the shoehorn for the Cool Gray 11, and this is the shoehorn from the 2012 Air Jordan 11 Bread. Okay. Now, as I put this next to the camera, you can see that it's that same plastic construction that you're used to. It does have those little metallic sparkles embedded inside of it. Okay. And now when I try to scratch it, listen to this. Okay. You hear that, right? So like I said, you really can't scratch it. It's like a very smooth surface. You can't really grip onto anything. Now in comparison, here's the 2012 Breads. All right. All right, there it is. You can kind of see the sparkles in there. All right, same thing. Can't scratch it. All right. This one is like a smoother one, so you can hear that. But this one, you can't even go scratch it. Now, when I flip these over, it's important to see right here. I'm going to try to get it where you guys can see that in 4K. You see that lettering right there, right? And it says OF8H 12.5 to 14. So this shoehorn will fit shoes from 12.5 to size 14. I flip this over. It says the exact same thing. OF8H 12.5 to 14. Okay. So these are identical. Same size. Same everything. So now let's take a look at the insoles. So here's the insole for the Cool Gray 11. You can see it kind of has like this, almost like a felt carpet texture on top. This is brand new DS, so you got the Jumpman, you got the sticker. You look on the back here, you see that the glue lines are diagonal. The top there, Air Jordan, and then you have all this print. And if you look closely, what it says is 13 to 14A, Air Jordan 11 at the bottom. Okay. Now this is the closest thing I can compare it to. This is a 2012. So this is 2010, 2012. And you know, things do change a little bit, but this is the closest model I have. I don't have the 2011 Concords, unfortunately. Now, like I said, same kind of felt carpet material. This has been worn, unfortunately. Okay. You've got those diagonal glue marks, although it's much stronger on this one than it is on this one. Okay. And if you look at the top here, you can see right there it says 13 to 14A Air Jordan 11 at the bottom. Okay. So very similar. Another thing to take note is we want to look at the depth. Okay. They're very similar in depth, the insoles. Okay. That's something to note. Like I said, these things you can't tell individually, but when you can compare it to other models, you can see how similar they are. So that's something to take note. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the review of the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray 2010. Let me know in the comments below if you thought these were authentic and what you think about the pair in general. Also, I got a pair for sale. Here is the Air Jordan 6 Travis Scott in a size 1.5 preschool. This is a great shoe for any kid that you know that's trying to get fly and can take care of their shoes. It's not brand new. It's very, 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 very near DS dead stock condition. It's been very well taken care of. I'll post pictures in the video below. Also, these do glow in the dark. So this is a great collector's item and a great gift for someone who's been doing well in school or just someone you love. So if you're interested, hit me up on Instagram at Ghostflykickz. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. Check you out later. Peace.